guys, it has been an entire year since I last talked about the Crunchyroll Awards, and we're going to talk about them again this year for the 2021 Crunchyroll Anime Awards. I have my friend Grave here with me, who I had last time. Grave, hello.
Hey, everybody.
And we were actually pretty shocked how well the past two videos were received. You know, we did one where we talked about the anime that were on the list and what we voted for, and then we talked about our opinions on the result. And last year was really wild. There were definitely some categories that I wasn't happy about. There were definitely some anime that I felt like did not get proper recognition. Hopefully this year, maybe some things will change. I've definitely seen more anime this year than last year. How about you? How was your anime watching year in 2021, Grave?
I've seen a good bit this year. Like, I feel like my biggest seasons are probably like last year, or I mean, the early winter season and like more of this fall season. But like, I feel like I've seen a good bit.
The very first category is anime of the year, and I'm really nervous. I don't know why they start with anime of the year. I'd rather that be at the end. But
Yeah, it's kind of anticlimactic having it be the very first one.
it really is. I feel like my heart would stop at the very end if they would reveal it at the very end. But alas, are you ready to check out anime of the year?
Let's do it.
All right. And the nominees are, for anime of the year, we're not going to watch the video, we'll just scroll down. Okay, we have 86, Attack on Titan Final Season Part 1, Jujutsu Kaisen, I have a lot to say about that. Odd Taxi, I have a lot to say about that. Ranking of Kings, wow. And Sunny Boy. Okay, my first opinion about this is not that bad of a
Not
lineup.
really. Like,
I'm actually really
it's
surprised.
honestly, there's a few on here that I really could see like being considered best of the year.
Right, like specifically what stands out to me the most is Odd Taxi and Ranking of Kings. Ranking of Kings is interesting because I don't think it's actually finished airing. Like its entire, I think it's like gonna be a full 24 episodes, so I'm actually surprised Ranking of Kings is on here. That's super surprising. Odd Taxi, you know, I adored to death. We talked about Odd Taxi quite a bit. I am a little disappointed to see Jujutsu Kaisen on here again because it was on there last year, right?
Yeah, and like the thing is, like it's a season two, so I think I talked about this a little last year. Like I always get kind of particular putting season twos as, you know, like top tier, more or less.
Right. I agree. And like it feels like Jujutsu Kaisen got its time. And like there's more Jujutsu Kaisen to animate. So are we just gonna see Jujutsu Kaisen on the list for anime of the year for the next like forever? Or whenever they completely animate the manga? I don't know. So you know, and Attack on Titan Final Season Part 1, I get why it's on here. Obviously people who are fans of Attack on Titan, it's like been a really, really good season. I'm okay with that pretty much being on here. 86 is another one that I did not expect to get on here.
Honestly, that's probably my favorite out of all of these. Like I actually really enjoyed 86. Like it was really well done.
I see. I really love. I think my vote is gonna have to be for Odd Taxi, basically because it was probably my second, if not my favorite anime of 2021, which makes me so happy because my several favorite anime from last year were not even like on the anime of the year list. So I'm really happy about this. I would probably consider Ranking of Kings, but I'm just waiting for it to finish. I don't want to vote for it if it's not finished yet. But yeah, so if you're going with 86, I'm going with Odd Taxi. This is not a bad category.
Yeah, like I kind of feel the same on Ranking of Kings too. Like I kind of want to see it finish, and like I'm actually saying that just having watched it last week, so it's still super fresh. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm definitely going with 86.
Man, this is already a really good sign that maybe we're on the right track. So I remember Anime of the Year being very controversial last year. Hopefully it won't be this year. I do think that Jujutsu Kaisen though and Attack on Titan have a really big chance of winning. But I'm really hoping that I would be happy with any of these other ones. I never saw Sunny Boy, but I would be happy with like anything but Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack on Titan personally.
Yeah, like I kind of feel like Jujutsu Kaisen is going to be the one that wins it, but like you said, with Attack on Titan it being the final season, there's a good chance of it too. So we'll see.
Best Boy category. The nominees are Senku from Dr. Stone Season 2, Izumi Miyamura from Horimiya, Otakawa from Odd Taxi, Boiji from Ranking of Kings, Ken Draken Ryuguji from Tokyo Revengers, and Manjiro Mikey Sano also from Tokyo Revengers. Okay, I definitely expected there to be some Tokyo Revengers stuff on here. Which brings me, actually, I'm surprised Tokyo Revengers didn't get nominated, actually, for Anime of the Year.
Yeah, and like honestly, like I kind of feel like Tokyo Revengers is kind of an interesting choice in this category, to be honest.
Really, why?
Because like they're still really gang members. So I mean, even though they're cool characters, Mikey and Draken are both like not exactly what I would normally put as like
As
best boy, more or less.
That's true. Well, you're gonna have all like the Tokyo Revengers fangirls vote for these guys, so I guess I kind of wish there wasn't two. Like they should have just maybe taken like the best boy, like just from like choose one of them from Tokyo Revengers and give another anime a slot. So that's a little disappointing.
To be honest, I would probably put Draken up over Mikey just because Mikey is kind of like he's a good character, but he's kind of weird at times.
I think for me, I'm not going to go with any of the Tokyo Revengers guys, even though I do think Tokyo Revengers does have really interesting characters. For this one, I'm going to go with Otakawa. I gotta go with Otakawa. I just love Taxi that much, and I think Otakawa is one of the, if not the best character in the show, definitely one of the best characters. Gosh, I feel like this is gonna be an Odd Taxi year for me. Like, I'm just gonna vote for all the Odd Taxi ones. But Boji, that's a pretty good one too. Horimiya, or Izumi Miyamura from Horimiya, that's not a surprising one either.
Yeah, I'm kind of like torn on this one because I kind of want to vote for like Ranking of Kings, but at the same time, I'm really kind of leaning Horimiya because like I really like that show.
Horimiya, that's another one that I'm surprised didn't get Anime of the Year, a nomination for Anime of the Year. I wouldn't have voted for it, but I liked it decently enough. So I think it having a Best Boy category for Miyamura is pretty fair. So is that what you're going for, Miyamura?
Yeah, I'm going for him.
I'd be surprised if he won. I really think it's gonna go to one of the Tokyo Revenger boys, but I'm gonna cross my fingers for my Otakawa Walrus dude. Like, let's freaking go.
Honestly, as much hype as it got, I would not be surprised if Boji doesn't win. Like, a lot of people are really into Ranking of Kings this year.
Yeah, they really are. So, and Boji, he's so just sweet. Like, he's definitely my second pick easily. But I still gonna go with Otakawa. I don't know. This is really
so hard.
I think that any of these guys could win. This is very interesting.
Yeah.
I really don't think anyone could take it away. I think if I had to pick, Tokyo Revengers is going to take it, but I think any of these could stand to win. Let's move on to the next category. We have Best Girl. This is going to set us on fire. Okay, Best Girl.
This is going to be good.
The nominees are Vladilena Milize, or Lena, from 86. Toru Honda.
Regina.
Toru Honda from Fruits Basket, the final season. Nobara from Jujutsu Kaisen, Sarasa Watanabe from Kageki Shoujo, I did not see that, Shoko Komi from Komi Can't Communicate, and Ai Oto from Wonder Egg Priority. Okay, there's some like series that I can think of that I'm just like, okay, this character didn't get a nomination, but this isn't too bad from what I remember. Are there any stickouts to you?
Out of these six, probably going with 86 again, because like you said, there's quite a few that like I'm looking at that I'm surprised didn't get a nomination, like Miriko from Miriko-chan, and there's Rit from Banished from the Heroes Party, and several other characters that I'm kind of surprised didn't get a nomination. But overall, this isn't bad. Like,
yeah, I'm kind of surprised. We had Miyamura on the Best Boy category. I'm kind of surprised that Hori from Horimiya didn't get a nomination. Not surprising to see Nobara on here, even though I don't think she was nominated last year. So I'm okay that Nobara's on here now. Toru Honda, Fruits Basket final season came out. It's just, I wouldn't have given Toru Honda one. I don't like Toru as a character at all anyway, but I see why it's on here. This is hard for me. It's between Lena from 86, Komi, and I would almost vote for Iota from Wonder Egg Priority, but really I think it's going to be between Lena and Komi. I'm going to give my vote for Komi, actually. Komi Can't Communicate.
I'm going to go for Lena. Like, I just love Lena. Like, she's such a cool character.
Moving on to Best Protagonist, we have Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan Final Season Part 1, Yuji Itadori from Jujutsu Kaisen, Joe from Megalobox 2, Otakawa again from Odd Taxi, Boji from Ranking of Kings, love that, and Ai Oto from Wonder Egg Priority. Okay, what are your initial thoughts on these guys?
A few of these are interesting. Like, I've not watched the new season of Attack on Titan yet, but I know the story from where I've read it and stuff. And I don't want to go too much into that, but it's kind of odd calling him
Aaron
like the
Yeager,
protagonist.
protagonist. Yeah, I know
And
exactly what
then,
you
like,
mean.
I kind of feel like the same thing goes for Joe and Megalobox because, like, Nomad has a much darker tone to his story than the first one. So,
Mm.
and even Odd Taxi to a point, but like I could see Odd Taxi being for best protagonist, so I guess I get that one. If I'm gonna make a guess, I'm gonna go with Boji again. Or
Um,
Yuji, one of the two.
I think Yuji is probably. I don't like Yuji as a character at all. I think he's a little annoying to me. But as far as Otakawa from Odd Taxi being on here, I kind of wish they would have. Even though I love Odd Taxi and it's definitely my anime of the year, I wish they would have not put him in the best boy and the best protagonist category. I would have liked to see something else new. Same with Ioto being in the best girl category and the best protagonist. But I think I'm gonna give this one to Boji because he's just such a fun character. He's a fun protagonist. He's just fun to watch. You want to protect him with everything that you have. So yeah, I'm going with Boji.
I'm gonna go with Boji too, and like I kind of agree that like we are getting a little bit of overlap now because like there's a few other series like Faraway Paladin or Vampire Cosmonaut. Like either one of those characters would have went really well in like best protagonist. I feel like.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on. I've never seen Megalobox, but I'm right there with you on the Aaron Yeager thing. For best protagonist, that's a little bit of a choice. And I'm
Yeah.
surprised they didn't go with any other characters from Attack on Titan that probably would have better fit protagonist. That said, won't be voting Attack on Titan stuff. Definitely voting for Boji this time. So, oh man, I really didn't expect Ranking of Kings to get a lot on here. I mean, it's really popular and people are really enjoying it, but I was a little bit scared that it would be overlooked. So,
Yeah, and like you were saying, I think they're on episode 12 or 13
yeah,
right now, and it's 23 episodes total.
right. So it'll probably
So,
get more nominations next year. So let's move on to Best Antagonist. This should be fun. For Best Antagonist, we have what the? You're gonna put Aaron Yeager's protagonist. I see why they did this, but I also hate it. Like,
yeah, like
pick
that's
one or
kind
the
of what I
other.
was talking about. Like that just ugh.
That's so annoying. Like, give someone else a slot. Jeez, okay. I see what they were doing here, given what is happening in the final season. Like, I'm actually not watching the final season. I'm reading the manga, but, like, I know what is happening. So I get why they did it this way, but it's just annoying to have him in these two categories and not just one. So,
Yeah.
anyway, okay. Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan. Tamura Shigaraki from My Hero Academia, Season 5. Yano from Odd Taxi. Echidna again. Okay. Echidna from ReZero Season 2. I'm surprised she's here. I know Shindo Adam from Skate the Infinity, and Teta Kisaki from Kyoto Revengers. Kyoto Revengers? Oh gosh, maybe next year. Kyoto Revengers instead of Tokyo Revengers. Echidna was on here last year, right?
Yeah, and like I think I said it last year too that like as much as I love Echidna, like she's not really antagonistic enough to be best antagonist. Like she's more of like a side character, I guess, like
Yeah.
that moves the plot along. So I as much as I like her, I can't vote for her on this.
I do like Yano quite a bit from Odd Taxi, but I'm actually surprised to see a Skate Infinity nomination here. And Adam is just this like ridiculous character, a ridiculously good skater. The voice actor for him is insane. So I'm gonna vote just for Adam. Not that I think he was maybe the best antagonist of the year. I think he's the most interesting antagonist of the year. But I just want to give a vote for Skate Infinity.
I haven't watched Skate Infinity yet.
You
I,
don't need to. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it's like, well, Air Gear. It's like, it's a skating thing, but it's like nothing like Air Gear. It's more just like focused on like guy characters. It's basically people who are fans of stuff like Haikyuu and Free and stuff are really into this show. It's
I
worth
mean,
watching for the sheer ridiculousness of it, honestly.
I watched Prince of Stride and it wasn't bad, so I mean, I would probably enjoy it to a point, but I feel like Aaron does fit better in this category. I'm not going to vote for him.
Mm,
I do like Tamura like a lot actually, but I'm not voting for him either just because I feel like he's going to take it either way. I
yeah.
think I'm actually going to vote for Kisaki from Tokyo Revengers because his character was kind of interesting in the series, to be honest.
I think honestly the Tokyo Revengers picks have a pretty good chance of winning, but I do think it's going to go to Shigaraki though, based
Yeah, I'm
on
kind of leaning that way too.
well, and I think that for Attack on Titan, people are going to be like a little bit whiplashed at the fact that Eren Yeager was in the protagonist category and also in the antagonist category. So could you imagine if he won both?
Oh, I would hate that so much.
But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So, okay, you're going with Tetakisaki, and I'm going with Adam, Skate Infinity. The next category is Best Fight Scene. These are always a little hard for me to remember, especially because I am a fan of a lot of either romance anime or slice of life shows where like fight scenes aren't really as important. But anyway, Best Fight Scene. The nominees are Eren Yeager versus Warhammer Titan and Attack on Titan, Naruto Uzumaki versus Otsutsuki and Boruto. Wow, okay. Um,
Oh,
Yuji Itadori and Ao Todo versus Hanami and Jujutsu Kaisen. Another Jujutsu Kaisen one. I think Jujutsu Kaisen got two of these last year too. Yuji Itadori and
yeah.
Nobara Kugisaki versus Eso and Kechizu. Elma and Toru. Mishiko Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Oh wow, Vivi. Vivi versus Yugo Kakitani and Vivi Fluorite Eyes Song. I don't feel strongly about any of these off the bat. Do you?
Not really. Like, I enjoyed the Yuji and Toto fight, but like overall, as far as impact goes, I'm gonna probably have to give it to Naruto actually, just because of I think it's called Byron mode or Banyan mode.
I don't know. I haven't seen that far into Boruto yet, so I'm not familiar with this fight. Most of these fights I'm
Uh,
not super familiar with except the Vivi one.
this was the fight that a lot of people were really hyped for, so I'm not gonna talk about it a ton, but like it was pretty good.
Well, I grew up on Naruto, loved the original manga, read through it. I think I'm just gonna give it to Naruto, even though I hadn't seen this fight yet. Naruto fights have never disappointed, and I'd be okay with it winning just based off of how, like, I know that Naruto has pretty good fight scenes, so I'll pick that one too if you're gonna pick it. I trust your
Yeah,
opinion.
I'm gonna pick it. Like, I love any fight with Toto in it, just because like his skill, like I think it's called Boogie Woogie, is just
Boogie
so much
Woogie.
fun. Where he claps,
Hmm.
and like they animate it so well when he gets into it, because like they're all just so awesome to watch. But overall, like I feel like the Naruto fight just got so much more hype for it, because I mean, just seeing the photos on Facebook and people talking about it actually got me to watch through it. So
It makes me want to watch it because Naruto's Hokage now, and like I kind of want to watch some Hokage fights from him. I have not gotten very far in Boruto Next Generations at all. Eventually, I'll get to it, but yeah, I'll just vote for that one. This is just me not being a big shonen fan, and like we have 4 shonens on here, so I'll give it to Naruto.
I feel like there was a couple of good fights in Slime this year that could have possibly got
Oh
tossed in
man,
there, or even
yeah.
Soma Spider So What, but
Mm.
it kind of is what it is. Like, this is a bad choice, but there's a bunch of others I feel like could have easily been on here as well.
Right, especially just having, and I get Jujutsu Kaisen's like the newest shonen, and there's tons of fights in it, so it's a little annoying that they get two. But I get why. I see it. I wish they would have picked one. Let's move on to the next category, which is Best Director. So we have Yuichiro Hayashi, Attack on Titan, Sunku Park for Jujutsu Kaisen, Moriyama from Megalobox, Baku Kinoshita from Odd Taxi, Shingo Natsume from Sunny Boy, and Shin Wakabayashi from Wonder Egg Priority. Which one of these stands out to you as something that you feel was directed the best?
This is actually really easy for me, oddly. I'm gonna give it to Odd Taxi
I
right away.
think I might give it to Odd Taxi as well, even though Wonder Egg Priority I think was an original anime. It wasn't based off of anything, I want to say, and that alone speaks a lot of words for it. I don't like where Wonder Egg Priority went in the end part of it. I really liked the beginning and then just started to not like it as it went through. Odd Taxi, I only loved it more and more with each episode. So I think from a directing standpoint, Odd Taxi was super well done. So I'm also gonna give it to Odd Taxi.
Yeah, and like I want to say, like I'm actually enjoying that Megalobox is getting some attention, because I don't feel like it really got talked about that much last time. But
Hmm.
overall, like Nomad, I had to like kind of watch it in parts because like the pacing was a little odd at first. So I'd watch a few episodes, forget about it for a few weeks, watch a few more episodes, and kind of went through it that way. So I can't really say it was like something I had to sit down and binge, but Odd Taxi was very easy to watch for me.
Bakuki no Shita, he really took it and put out such an amazing product.
And the
Um,
way they ended it was amazing as well. Like they did such a
mm,
fantastic job.
yeah, and it's just one of those anime that you don't need any more of. Like I'm okay with just Odd Taxi being its 12, 13 episodes. Like I'll never need a season 2. I don't need cuz you don't need it after the ending that I got, right? It's just
You don't really want it. It was one of
yeah.
those that just like you feel like it's a good sense of completion to it.
Yeah, and sometimes with 12 episode series I'm always left wanting more, but I'm not left wanting more of Odd Taxi in the best way possible. All right, let's move on to best animation. Whew, this one could get very spicy.
Mm.
So we'll take a look. Vote for best animation. We have Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Mugen Train Arc. I'm actually surprised this hasn't gotten other nominations. Very interesting. Jujutsu Kaisen, Part 2. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid S. Kyoto Animation, so of course. Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation. Ooh, okay, I'm surprised that also didn't get more. Wait, really? I'm actually really surprised that Rudius didn't get a Best Boy nomination now that I think about it. Vivi, Fluorite's Eye Song, and Wonder Egg Priority. Wow. This is not a bad list.
It's not a bad list, but I'm a little surprised by a few of these because like there were some very well animated ones this year. Like not to go off on 86 too much, but like they
Yeah,
kept on having
wow.
delays with 86 because of the animation taking so long because they were trying
Mm.
to adapt it so well and it actually turned out amazing. Then you've got stuff like Tact Op, which was very pretty, and there's a few others that like I know I'm forgetting right now.
Well, I'm actually surprised, not to just, take a crap on Jujutsu Kaisen for no reason, but Jujutsu Kaisen hasn't done anything that different to me in shonen animation, so I probably would have taken that out and replaced it with 86 specifically. Also, another one that comes to mind is Komi-san Can't Communicate. For what it is, as like a school drama romance kind of thing, kind of slice of lifey, it's animated so incredibly well, which is why I'm kind of shocked that. I'm not shocked that it's not on here, but I definitely would have put that on here too. Demon Slayer, of course, I think it deserves it. The animation in that is, whether you like Demon Slayer or not, you have to admit that the animation is top tier. Wonder Egg Priority had just really good fight scenes. I mean, fight scenes that I think were on the level of like Kill la Kill back in the day. Mushoku Tensei, I wasn't so sure if I wanted to get into Mushoku Tensei yet because I was really, I'm in that same group of people who gets a little tired of the isekai. But as far as isekai are concerned, this is definitely one of the better animated ones out of like all the really crappy animated isekai that we get all the time. So
And
it's fair.
surprisingly, as much as I said, like, there's other things I would have kind of expected to see on here, like,
Mm-hmm.
actually, the one I would have probably chosen in the end is actually going to be Jobless Reincarnation because that's actually the
Mm.
first series this studio's ever done. Like, they
Really?
literally, I think, made that studio to animate the series.
Oh wow. Well, they have done an incredible job because, I went into Jobless Reincarnation with very low expectations. Just I kind of do that for isekai a lot of the times. And so I was just really impressed with the quality, not only like the quality of the writing and the directing, but the quality of the animation too. So oh man, though, as much as I want to give it to Mushoku Tensei, I think I'm gonna give it to Wonder Egg Priority for really just having such amazing fight scenes and just, that was one of the first anime of the year that I had watched in 2021, and I was not disappointed at all by the animation. So I'm gonna give it to Wonder Egg Priority. Are you giving it to Jobless Reincarnation?
Yeah, I'm giving it a Jobless Reincarnation.
Hey, that's fair too. I do think that Demon Slayer might take this though.
I could see that because honestly, like, it was a really cool animated fight in Mugen Train. Like,
Mm,
I really enjoyed it, but like overall, it was more of a movie hype for me on that one than an actual like overall thing.
right. Vivi being on here is surprising. I watched Vivi, but it wasn't as crazy of a visual experience than 86, I think. So, as you said, like 86 not being on here is a little surprising. All right, you want to move on to best character design? This could get spicy.
let's do it. I seem to remember this one being an interesting one last year too.
All
Like I don't
right.
think there was a ton that really stood out.
Yeah, that's true. Last year I was like, okay, I don't care about really many of these, but let's see. Okay, best character design. Tadashi Hiramatsu from Jujutsu Kaisen, Baku Kinosha and Hiromi Nakayama from Odd Taxi, Atsuko Nozaki from Ranking of Kings, Michinori Chiba from Skate the Infinity, um, Iadra? I don't know what that is. And Loudra, maybe? Flat Studio and Yuichi Takahashi from Vivi, and Saki Takahashi from Wonder Egg Priority.
Once again, I've not got super strong feelings. Like I
Mm,
feel like it's here. It's probably gonna go Jujutsu Kaisen again, but
yeah.
for me, it's between Ranking of Kings and Odd Taxi. And honestly, the characters in Odd Taxi stood out so much just because of their designs being so like different and all that. So I think I'm gonna give it to Odd Taxi again.
It's hard for me between Odd Taxi, Skate the Infinity, and Wonder Egg Priority. It really is. See, Ranking of Kings, I like less from a character design perspective and more from just a general animation perspective. Like not their individual character, more of an art style actually. Like I love Ranking of Kings art style, not necessarily the character designs over Odd Taxi, Skate, and Wonder Egg Priority. I am gonna go. God, this is so hard. You're going with Odd Taxi?
Yeah, and to be honest, like I'm looking back through like the previous seasons list right now, and like honestly, out of everything I'm scrolling through right now, if I had the option to just pick something, I would probably actually give it to Faraway Paladin. Oddly enough,
And I'm also surprised that Mushoku Tensei is not on here because I think all of those character designs are also really good. I think I'm gonna go with Wonder Egg Priority. I'm going with it because over Skate the Infinity, because Skate the Infinity is like they just look like, these crazy skateboard gang dudes from Okinawa, like, and they did that, they did their character design job properly. However, with Wonder Egg Priority, these are like regular Japanese girls, like regular high school girls, and they made them stand out in Wonder Egg Priority. So for that alone, like, I really appreciate when not that Wonder Egg Priority was slice of life, but I really appreciate when regular characters who aren't like these fantasy characters or anything um, drawn really well with really good designs so that they stick out. So for that reason, I'm going to go with Wonder Egg Priority if you're going to go with Odd Taxi. Next category, best score. So best
oh, I
music.
kind of dread this one to be honest because
Oh,
I don't feel like I'm going to be happy.
okay. No, you're gonna be happy. Okay, so Hiroyuki Sawano and Kota Yamamoto from 86 that did 86. Yuki Kaijura and Go Shina did Demon Slayer. Mabanua from Megalobox. Pumpi Vava and OMSB who did Odd Taxi. Satoru Kosaki for Vivi, and Dede Mouse and Mito Wonder Egg Priority. I know exactly who I'm voting for. Are you
I'm
mad?
having a hard time with this one. I'm not really mad, but like I'm having a hard time choosing because most of the ones that would have been my first choice aren't on here.
What were some of your first choices?
I'm trying to remember because the one I think that really stood out to me was Faraway Paladin because I just remember like I watched the first couple of episodes. I was like, the music is really good, and like I just finished watching Tac Op, which
Mm,
is like based around music. So I mean, that
mm,
series had a lot of stuff in it, and I was like, this is standing up against that. So
I personally, I think I'm gonna go with 86. With Odd Taxi, I don't remember specifically. I remember like really liking the soundtrack. It really fit the vibes of like being a taxi driver in Tokyo and like all of these different things going on in Tokyo. But nothing really specifically strikes me. Whereas a lot of the piano arrangements in 86 specifically stand out to me. So that's why it's getting my vote.
it really flowed well with the battles. So I think I'm going to
Mm,
agree, and I'm probably going to go with 86 too because of these choices. That is the one that stands out most to me.
yeah.
Honestly, Megalobox is an interesting one too because I feel like the background music was good, but it didn't really like make the series for me.
Are you good on this category?
Yeah,
All
I'm good
right.
with 86.
Yeah, just going with 86. So, 2 votes for 86 from us. So, for best voice acting performance, the Japanese voices, which is usually what I watch anime that aired this year in, we have Ayane Sakura, Gabi Braun, Attack on Titan Final Season Part 1, Yuki Kaji's Eren Yeager, Attack on Titan. So we have 2 Attack on Titan ones. Kiyoshi Kobayashi, who did Daisuke Jigen and Lupin the Third Part 6. Interesting. Natsuki Hanae, who did Otakawa in Odd Taxi. Aoyuki, who's Komoko. So there's the Spider Cell. Soma Spider Cell What? And Kanata Aikawa, Ioto and Wonder Egg Priority. My first initial thought is that I really did love the voice acting in Wonder Egg Priority. You know, there's a lot of like trauma that happens in the show. It was probably, you know, not the easiest task to voice some of these characters between the fighting and traumatic things happening. So my first go-to is honestly Wonder Egg Priority.
Like I said, I haven't watched Wonder Egg Priority, so like I don't really know well enough to say on it. Like I'm kind of leaning to either Odd Taxi or Soma Spider on this one. And I'm struggling to pick which one.
So I only saw the first episode of Soma Spider because I'm terrified of spiders, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this. Like, I just can't. But from what I noticed in the first episode, the voice acting is pretty good, so I'll give that one to you for sure.
I think I'm going to go with Spider just because, like, she does have a lot of personality, and it's a really fun one, and it kind of carried in her voice that, like, you know, it was a lot of fun. So I think I'm going to go with Spider.
Well, Spider, it kind of reminds me of, like, the same voice acting that's in Slime. The character who like becomes a slime, that voice acting is really good. It kind of reflected that in Soma Spider. So, yeah, I mean, and Otakawa is great too from Odd Taxi, but I specifically remember the voice acting just being phenomenal in Wonder Egg Priority in general. So you're voting for. Yeah, go ahead.
Odd Taxi is a little bit monotone in his, so I mean, that's his character though, but like at the same time, it's just like it doesn't have the same energy to me, so it didn't really get me, you know, kind of hyped up for it.
The next category is Best Voice Actor Performance in English. This is going to be hard for me usually because I don't watch too many things in English that come out in the new year. But we have Brittany Cox as Fena Pirate Princess. I never watched that show. Laura Bailey, of course, Toru Honda, Fruits Basket. Adam MacArthur, Yuji Itadori from Jujutsu Kaisen. David Wald is Inosuke Shido Adam from Skate the Infinity. Matt Shipman for Reki for Skate Infinity. And Aniris Quinn, I don't know that last name, as Rika Kawai from Wonder Priority. I watched all of these except for Fena Pirate Princess in Japanese, so I do not know what to do here.
To be perfectly honest, the only one of these characters I have ever heard in English is Yuji, so I've got to vote Yuji because he's the only one I actually know the voice for.
I can't in my right mind vote for any of these when I haven't like listened to them in English, so I'm probably going to skip voting in this category, honestly. Let's move on to Best Opening Sequence. These are fun. All right, so for Best Opening Sequence, we have Boku no Senso from Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan historically always has really hype openings, so that's definitely fair. Kaibutsu for Beastars, which if that's the second season, I haven't seen the second season of Beastars. Vivid Vice for Jujutsu Kaisen. I Know Supreme, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Odd Taxi for Odd Taxi, and Crybaby Tokyo Revengers. Okay, my initial thought is Crybaby for Tokyo Revengers, to be honest.
I went through and watched all of these again, and like my first instinct was Tokyo Revengers. I was like, okay, that's awesome. That's exactly how good it was. I remember it being this good. And then the more I watched of the others, I was like, oh, Odd Taxi was really interesting.
Yeah.
And like Jujutsu Kaisen was really good. And like Kobayashi was actually honestly really good. Attack on Titan didn't wow me, surprisingly.
See, I haven't heard it, I think. I may have heard it in passing, the Attack on Titan one.
It's kind of odd as much like as I kind of downplayed it last year, but I'm kind of leaning towards Beastars.
Really? I remember, Beastars I hadn't seen yet when we were doing the Crunchyroll Awards, so I couldn't really, like, vote a lot for it. So interesting that you're going with Beastars. I'll give it to Tokyo Revengers. This is my first vote for Tokyo Revengers, during all the categories so far.
Like, to be honest, all of these are really good. Like, the only one I didn't really care for was Attack on Titan, but all of these actually had really good openings. And there was some that were in the other shows that didn't get mentioned here that were really amazing too, but I'm not mad about this one at all.
So the next category, Best Ending Sequence. I generally am an opening watcher. Like, I'll watch the opening just about every time. Sometimes I'll skip the ending just to like hurry and get to the next episode. So hopefully I remember some of these. So best ending sequence, we have Shogeki for Attack on Titan. We have Yasashi Suisei for Beastars. Shirogane, Lisa, of course. That's going to be a big one for Demon Slayer. Nai Nai for Shadow's House. It was the first time we've seen Shadow House get a nomination. Infinity for Skate the Infinity. And Ganbare Kumoko-san no Theme from So What I'm a Spider. My initial thought, my first thought is I think Lisa alone, because she's a Lisa and her music for Demon Slayer is amazing. I think Shirogane from Demon Slayer could take it. I'm personally going to put my vote in for Skate Infinity because I also think like the opening and ending songs for Skate the Infinity are good. And nothing else really here sticks out to me that well. Never saw Shadow's House, unfortunately.
Overall, I kind of feel like Lisa is going to win it with like Demon Slayer, and that's not a bad choice. Like, I actually really like it. I'm actually going to go with Spider, oddly enough, because it wasn't the best music and singing. It was just fun. It was really fun.
And it looks like it's done by the voice actor Aoyuki, so that is very fun. I love when that happens.
Like, that's what I enjoyed, is like getting to see her sing like the closing and like just dance around and everything. Like, it was such a like amusing way to do it.
Well, I do think Demon Slayer is going to take this one, so I'm glad we're kind of being a little bit different. Me doing Skate Infinity and you doing So What I'm a Spider, so let me throw in that vote. Best action. So we're getting into like best genres. So this is always very fun. So for best action, we're starting to get a lot of repeats here. Attack on Titan final season, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, SSSS, Dyna Zeon. I have not seen that. Which, okay, that's a Studio Turkish show. I guess that's from like, what was that, Gridman, SSS Gridman? Is that like a...
Yeah.
Okay. Vivi Fluoride's Eye Song and Wonder Egg Priority. So I immediately know what I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick Wonder Egg Priority. I already said that the fight scenes in the show really reminded me of how good the fight scenes were in Kill la Kill back in like when that came out, like 2014. So really did not expect Wonder Egg Priority to have fight scenes such as this. So I am immediately going to vote for Wonder Egg Priority. What are your thoughts?
I'm probably going to give it to Demon Slayer just because I feel like it probably has the best chance of winning, and out of all of these, I probably overall enjoyed it the most.
Right. The budget for Mugen Train was so big. So, I mean, honestly, it in Japan when it came out, it's like it's taken over so many incredibly famous movies.
Well, and to be honest, like just look at the studios on this. Like you've got two from Mappa, you've got Trigger, you've got UFOtable, you've got Cloverworks. Like overall, like these are all up there.
One that comes to mind is To Your Eternity. Now, To Your Eternity is more adventure rather than action, but enough action happens and enough fighting happens to where I'm actually surprised we haven't seen To Your Eternity yet. So moving on to best comedy. Okay, here we go. This should be fun. Oh, this already looks fun. Okay, best comedy, we have Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, Heaven's Design Team, Komi Can't Communicate, Life Lessons with Uramichi Onisan, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid S, and Odd Taxi. Okay, Odd Taxi being a comedy, I don't know if I like that in this category.
Yeah.
It should not be in this category. It could be in drama. Drama, I could see.
It was a very dry humor at that, so I kind of agree with that. It's more like drama comedy than comedy focused.
Exactly. It's not like this crazy wild comedy that we often see from anime. So honestly, I don't know how I feel about these. So Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, has its funny points, but it's more just like you feel really bad for the main character that you have all of these girls making fun of him. Like the first few episodes really kind of made me feel bad for him and like really uncomfortable. Like, do I want to finish this? I'm glad I did finish the first season of Nagatoro. And I will watch the second season when it comes out, but it's like I don't laugh at it.
Yeah, and like that's kind of my feeling with it too. Like it gets a lot warmer later on, so it focuses more on the fun romance aspects as you go later on. But like at the beginning, it was kind of hard to, really fall into the humor of it. And like once again, I think you mentioned a little while ago, I'm surprised like they didn't put girlfriend on here.
Yes! Why? That show really did have me laughing.
Yeah, like it was hilarious at parts. Like as much like as people gave it trouble, like it was hilarious. Like There was Miriko-chan, which was pretty funny at points.
Mm.
There was My Senpai is Annoying, which was pretty funny.
Oh, don't get me started on My Senpai is Annoying. That is also funny. How come we haven't seen that yet? This might be my least favorite category so far based on what you just said.
There was, what was it? Osamake, rom-com where my childhood friend won't lose. That one was funny. Combatants Will Be Dispatched was pretty funny for an action series. How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. Like, there's so many that could be on here.
I just thought of, I was looking through the list, and I just thought of, I've Been Killing Slimes for 300 Years. Like, that it was a very funny show to me as well. Full Dive RPG was also like super funny in like the most cringy way. I think if Kanojo Mo Kanojo was on here, I would have definitely voted for that.
I forgot about Full Dive. Like, honestly, if Full Dive was on here, like,
yeah.
I would probably vote for it just because it was the most cringy humor ever, but God, it was funny.
Yeah, exactly. That and Girlfriend Alone.
I'm kind of between Komi Can't Communicate and Life Lessons with Uramichi Onisan.
See, Komi Can't Communicate, it has its funny parts, but I'm more interested in Komi for, like, her as a character and her growing, so more of, like, a emotional journey rather than, like, a comedy, even though it has funny parts. But I'm gonna vote for it, because really, unfortunately, I've never seen Heaven's Design Team, which is unfortunate. I think I would like it. Odd Taxi doesn't scream comedy to me. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, it's like the same kind of comedy you're always going to get from these types of shows.
I think I'm going to go with Life Lessons with Uramichi Onisan because, like, I know I said this about Odd Taxi being kind of like a dry humor, but, like, I kind of enjoyed, like, the kind of more dark aspects of that Life Lessons series just because it was, like, relatable to a point.
All right, well, the next category is Best Drama, and me and you, we love our dramas.
I'm honestly kind of looking forward to this one. It could go either really well or really bad.
Right. Okay, Best Drama. We have 86. Okay, that's fair. Fruits Basket, the final season. Kageki Shoujo. Odd Taxi again. Well, that's To Your Eternity. There it is, as I was saying. And Wonder Egg Priority.
Honestly, like, the one that stands out most to me is probably 86, just because I love war drama.
See, To Your Eternity is one of those shows that's like, it's one of the very few like adventure shows that we get, kind of similar to like Mushishi, where like this dude travels around and you just see different parts of like this world, and there's lots of world building in the show as well. So like drama didn't initially spark me for To Your Eternity, but I see why it is put in drama. Wonder Egg Priority, very dramatic. Odd Taxi. See, I wish they would have taken Odd Taxi out of comedy, because I don't think of Odd Taxi as a comedy at all, even though it is funny. I do think of it more as a drama, so I'm okay with it being here. 86. The only one of these that I have not seen is Kageki Shoujo, which is unfortunate because it looks like it's right up my alley. So I think I'm still going to actually go with To Your Eternity because it's the first time that I've seen it on the list. I do think that it deserves something. I really do think it's one of the best anime of this year. So I'm going to vote for To Your Eternity.
I think I'm going to vote for 86, but like there are a few that like I would have thrown out here. Like I could have seen Tokyo Revengers being thrown in this category.
Yeah.
Higehiro was another one I could have seen being thrown into this category.
I'm very surprised that there's no Higehiro here.
Remake Air Life was really good for a drama romance.
That would have been perfect too.
But out of the choices given, I think I'm going to go with 86. I'm going to have to watch To Your Eternity because if you compared it to Mushishi, and that's like my favorite series of all time. So
well, it's like it's very similar in the way that like there's a lot of traveling and moving from point to point, and a lot of individual people's stories that just like make this giant puzzle piece of like what the story is for To Your Eternity. So I think you'd really like it. Like it is not exactly the same for Mushishi, but I could see like it's definitely more. It has more going on in it than I think
it has
Mushishi
that
does.
vibe, kind of.
It does. It does have the Mushishi vibes. So, and not just because the main character has white hair.
I'll take it either way.
Next category is Best Romance. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Wait, is there no Best Couple? There's no Best Couple.
Wow, I can't believe they skipped that this year.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. Maybe there's just
a lot of really good ones
romance.
too.
Well, they didn't have it. That's a little weird. All right, so Best Romance, we have Beastars. I think that was the one of on last year too, was Beastars. Fruits Basket, the final season. Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. I have a lot to say about that. Horimiya, Komi Can't Communicate, and The Duke of Death and His Maid, which this is the only anime series I haven't seen, is The Duke and the Death of His Maid. So I just want to start with Nagatoro. I don't view this as a romance for like quite a bit of it. Like obviously Nagatoro has feelings for the main character, but displays those feelings in a very effed up way.
Yeah, and to
um
be honest, even in the manga, like the current chapters are just starting to get into the fact that like it's starting to be reciprocated. So I mean, it's
mm,
not like the anime has really gotten that far along yet.
yeah, and like I mean, in the anime you can tell that like she has a crush on him, but I wouldn't really call anything about it romantic, by any stretch of the
Nah.
imagination. Horimiya is like your standard romance series from this year. I've read the Horimiya manga and I've watched the anime, and it doesn't do anything that different for me as far as romance. Like I do appreciate that it's not just like, oh, does this guy like me, or oh, does this girl like me? I don't know. It's more of like the two being in a relationship and what it's like to be in a relationship like that with two different people in high school, which I appreciate. um Komi can't communicate. Obviously, there's like romance in that naturally, with the main character trying to help Komi be able to communicate more. I personally am going to vote for Komi can't communicate because I just think about the first episode where the main guy character was like, well, I'll be your first friend and I'm going to help you make 99 more friends. And I was like almost led to tears during that chalkboard scene. So that alone, I will vote for Komi. What about you? What are you going for?
Like honestly, overall, I'm gonna probably have to go with Horimiya just because like it was the most like kind of like you said, it shows like the actual workings of a normal romance kind of like
Mhm.
in that setting. So I kind of got to go with it in this sense.
I really think any of these have a chance, now
And
that I
I'm
think
gonna
about it.
throw my personal bias out on this one, which it's not a romance series. I will go ahead and say that right now before someone goes to correct me.
Oh,
But
are you gonna say
if I
Hirohige?
could, no,
Oh,
like,
okay.
oh God, no,
Because I was
no,
like,
no, no,
that
no,
would
no,
be
no,
very bad. For
no,
many
no, no,
reasons.
no.
We're staying away
Like,
from that. Not a romance. We want to make that clear.
like straight like if I could pick anything for this, and like I said, it's not a romance at all, but
Mhm.
I would actually give it to Banish from the Heroes Party.
Oh, really?
I
What, for
decided to
what
live a
reason?
quiet life in the countryside because
Mhm.
it's considered an action adventure kind of fantasy,
Mhm.
but Red and Rit are so adorable together. Like I love their like dynamic together, so I would have given it to them in a heartbeat.
All right, so Komi can't communicate for me. Horimiya for you. Let's move on to best fantasy. I think I know exactly what's going to be here. Okay, best fantasy. Mushoku Tensei, of course. Ranking of Kings, love to see that. That time I got reincarnated as Slime Season 2. The case study of Vanitas, which I have not seen yet, and I really need to. To Your
I
Eternity.
tried to watch it, but I didn't finish it.
Really, yeah, there's a lot of mostly like friends that I know who are women who really like it. I guess because there's hot men in it. But and then Wonder Egg Priority. So the only one on this list I hadn't seen is the case study. I actually haven't seen Slime Season 2 yet. This is a little hard. I'm not gonna go with Wonder Egg Priority. I either want to go with Jobless Reincarnation, Ranking of Kings, or To Your Eternity.
That's kind of where I'm falling to is your jobless reincarnation or ranking of kings. Like I like slime, but overall, once again, I don't like giving it to season twos in this sense because I'm like it doesn't really do anything that much different fantasy wise than season one.
Jobless Reincarnation, it is an isekai, so it is like kind of, the main character Rudius, he was like a 30-year-old shut-in dude, and so there's that connection to like real life Tokyo, and then like how isekai are, where it's like this other world that's a fantasy world. Whereas Ranking of Kings, what I appreciate about it is that it's just like pure fantasy. It's not an isekai or anything like that. And even though it's not finished, it kind of keeps me from not voting for it quite yet. So I think for this, like, I'm gonna go to Your Eternity because the fantasy and it's definitely very fantasy, and I love seeing it on here. And it's 20. It's like the first season is like 25 episodes, and it was just addicting to watch. I think it hits a lot of marks on fantasy. I would say it's more of an action adventure over fantasy if I had to label it with one genre. But for this, I'll give it to Your Eternity.
This one's really hard for me because like I keep bouncing back and forth because like you said, Ranking Kings hasn't finished yet, but like I really liked the characters in it. Like, they all had a lot of emotion. And, like, I didn't really go into it expecting to get attached to them that much. Jobless Reincarnation, like, a lot of the characters are really cool. Like, they grow on you quickly. Like,
Yeah. There's not a character that I really dislike, too, in Mushoku Tensei, which I really like.
to be honest, this one's really hard, so I'm going to flip a coin.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Let's see here.
Between Mushoku Tensei and Ranking of Kings.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm going to do heads Mushoku Tensei and tails Ranking of Kings.
Okay.
It is heads, so Jobless Reincarnation it is.
See, that's what I love, is like when the category is so good, you have to flip a coin to really decide. We love to see that. We're moving on to best film, which is going to be movies, which I think I already have an idea of what's going to be on here. We have Belle, which immediately came to mind. Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0, Thrice Upon a Time. Of course, Demon Slayer, Mugen Train. Josie the Tiger and the Fish. Never actually saw that. Shirobako, the movie, which unfortunately, I wanted to go see in Japanese theaters so bad, but never got the chance. Words bubble up like soda pop. Have not seen that either. I'm honestly gonna straight up go for Belle. Because I saw this in Japanese theaters, and the animation and music-wise, one of the best movies I think I've ever seen. And I watched it just in Japanese, not with English subtitles or anything, and it was still like presented so well that even though my Japanese is not super advanced, I was able to understand most of it and really just appreciate it for the music and animation alone. So I'm going with Belle. What about you?
Be honest, there's only 2 of these I know, and that's going to be Evangelion and Demon Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
And I am a disgrace of a weeb because I have not watched Evangelion yet, so I've got to vote Demon Slayer because it's the only one I've actually seen, and I do like UFOtable as a animation studio, so.
You know, I think Demon Slayer's probably going to take it, but I really do think that I think Belle could probably be chosen over Evangelion, surprisingly enough. I think like Evangelion, it's definitely like past its hype, and it took so long for this movie to come out that I could see people just maybe not caring as much for this one. So I really think it's really going to be between Belle and Demon Slayer, but I think Demon Slayer's going to take it.
I will agree with you on that one because, like I said, I like Evangelion, but I haven't watched it yet because of exactly what you said. It took so long and the hype kind of died off for me, so I'm definitely going to watch it, but I just don't know when. So I'll say, it'll probably go Demon Slayer, but, if you're talking Belle up, I'm definitely going to have to watch it after this.
Belle is by Mamoru Hosoda, who is the same person that did, Wolf Children, The Boy and the Beast, Mirai, I think, as well. So, just really anything that man puts out is amazing. So, definitely had to pick Belle. So we're going to kind of go through this AniChart list of stuff that aired last year just to see if anything really, really, really got gypped. So I'm going through the winter 2021 season. So we saw a lot of Horimiya, we saw Wonder Egg Priority, we saw Skate, we saw Slime, we saw Mushoku Tensei, we saw Dr. Stone. I'm actually surprised. I love the quintessential quintuplets. I'm surprised it kind of didn't get something like Best Romance or something, because this is the second season.
Yeah, and actually there's another one there I see, bottom tier Tomizaki.
Yeah, this is not getting romance
that was actually a good one.
This was good, yeah. This not getting romance is actually pretty surprising. Really, really loved Hataraku Saibo Black. I think that Black was better than, the regular Hataraku Saibo. Yuru Camp Season 2 is probably my favorite, anime of the year, but it's a Season 2, so I don't, necessarily count it. Hiro Hyuge didn't get anything.
Yeah,
or Hikihiro.
It was an interesting series, to be honest.
It was. It dealt with something that I feel like a lot of animation studios would not want to touch. But I think it did so in such a classy and safe way.
Titans Will Be Dispatched honestly didn't get talked about a whole lot either.
See, here we go. Here's Full Dive. This was the cringiest thing I've ever seen in my life, and it was so funny. I'm surprised this didn't get a comedy.
It was really good. It surprised me because, I went into it just expecting, oh, this is going to be another game thing, and then, it turned out really amazing.
Super Cub was probably, other than Odd Taxi, probably ties for first with Odd Taxi. Loved Super Cub a lot, but, these, little relaxing slice of life anime, unfortunately, never get nominations.
Summer was kind of light. I mean, there was Girlfriend, and then Remake My Life.
Yeah. With Remake My Life not getting anything, Girlfriend not getting anything is very shocking. Aquatope not getting anything, what a disappointment. I mean, it's PA Works, and sometimes they either put out really bad stuff or really good stuff. I think this is one of the better PA Works shows in the last couple years. Really sad to see this not get anything.
Oh, I completely forgot about it, Dot. And that one actually was really good. And like I watched it late because like it didn't stand out to me at first, but the animation is really fun in it. But it is a very dark series in ways.
It looks very fun, these character designs.
Like that was what I enjoyed so much is the characters are so fun. Honestly, Peach Boy Riverside.
That didn't get anything either.
Yeah, like it didn't even get mentioned, and like I know it made a lot of people really angry because like one of the episodes like seems out of order, and like it just kind of ruined the whole flow of the series.
Of course,
I
we
can't
saw
believe Mirko-chan didn't get mentioned at all.
Well, yeah, Mariko-chan, that's surprising. Tact OP Destiny not getting anything. What's up with that? Very shocked about that. 86 did get, you know, proper stuff. Senpai got Uzai. My senpai's annoying. That's unfortunate.
Faraway Paladin didn't really get mentioned at all.
Band from the Heroes Party didn't get anything, did it?
That was probably one of my favorites too.
I think this year is definitely better than last year, if I had to say. Because last year, man, so much stuff got gypped, and it just was Jujutsu Kaisen year over and over again. So I think maybe Crunchyroll did take people's advice and be like, we didn't want to see the same series over and over again. You know, I'm always scared it's just going to be, you know, the big three all the time, so to speak, like My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titan, like over and over and over again. I didn't really feel like that was the case this time. I think things were pretty fair. I'd say much better than last year. Very excited to see 86 and Ranking of Kings and Odd Taxi get a lot of recognition. Really happy about that. So I'd say overall this is definitely better than last year. We didn't see a ton of repeats. I mean, there's a lot of Jujutsu Kaisen, a lot of Odd Taxi, a lot of Attack on Titan, which is fine. I don't think it was as bad as last year on the repeats. I think people will be upset for Odd Taxi getting a lot of repeats because Odd Taxi is one of those, like, you either love or hate it. So I think people who maybe don't like Odd Taxi would be disappointed with the lineup because Odd Taxi really is in almost every single one of these, which is surprising.
To be fair, like most of the repeats this year were warranted. Like there was only a few that I was like, okay, that shouldn't have really been there, and like that mostly felt like the Eren Yeager being both protagonist and antagonist.
That sucked, and then I think the comedy choices sucked. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with this year's stuff.
Overall, I'm not mad either.
Yeah. All right, well, I think that is going to be it from us. Guys, let me know in the comment section what anime you would vote for, what your overall thoughts of the Crunchyroll Anime Awards is. Eventually, I will have a video out of my personal top 10 anime of 2021. But until then, Grave, do you have anything you want to say to the people of the world?
Not really to the people of the world. I've just got to remind you that your taste is systematically flawed.
Alright guys, again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to push like if you liked the video. We are going to be recording our reactions to the winners of Crunchyroll in, I guess, a couple weeks whenever that comes out, so stay tuned for that. Thank you, Grave, for joining me, and thank you guys for watching, so I'll see you next time. Bye!